Yeah, as we discussed earlier, it is important if you practice. If you don't practice, you will not learn. Okay, practice is like a key to success. It's not making you perfect. Okay, because some people think practice makes a man perfect, but it is like a it's like a maybe an idiom. It is said by someone, but actually you will improve. For language learner, we can say that practice. If you practice more, you will improve. Okay.
So,
And practice is obviously you need to practice all four skills. Okay, you need to practice listening, you need to practice reading aloud, you need to practice writing and then speaking as well. Okay, then obviously you will speak with the time. You will have enough vocabulary, your pronunciation is correct, and then you understand grammar as well, and then you start. And obviously, on top of all these things, you need knowledge, content. Without content, without knowledge, you can't speak. Okay, if you don't know anything about any topic, okay, then how can you speak? Okay, therefore you need to you need subject knowledge. Okay, you need content to speak as well. Okay, therefore that's the reason I asked you guys to read extensively and read aloud. ऊंची आवाज में पढ़ें. Okay, read extensively and read aloud so that your eyes can just when they read English, your eyes can scan, spelling, can understand, can scan grammatical structures, you know. Similarly, your brain will understand that your brain is processing a new language. It will when you read aloud, your brain will become more cautious, and will start digesting another language. Okay, and then obviously your ears are like you are listening to another language, they're tuned to another language. If you haven't heard any word of English, okay, how can you speak? Okay, therefore your ears they tune to the new language. Okay, and this is the whole process. That is why if you read aloud, you will have listening practice, you will have a reading practice, and then your eyes, your brains, it's like a holistic way to improve your language. Okay, and at the same time you need to listen as well. Without listening you can't. With reading, listening is as important as reading. Okay. Now, we have started grammar uh, recently, and we are before going to start our exactly what we are studying, I just discuss few important concepts with you guys. Okay, and today we are talking about integrity. Okay, integrity is, I don't know how many of you know integrity. Okay, it is very, very important. Okay, integrity is like it is like your character. Okay, it is like whatever you do in your life, this is your integrity. Okay, some people are like uh, you know they are like whatever they say they do that. Okay, and some people whatever they say they don't do at all. Okay, therefore always by your integrity. Okay, whatever you do in your life, you will be known by that. Okay, if you are like people that think like whatever you say you always, but if you commit something you do that. Okay, and some nations are famous that whenever they commit they don't do anything. Okay, they are like not they don't come up to their commitment. Okay, they don't follow their commitment. Okay, therefore integrity is very important. It is like a gauge. It's like a measuring thing for your character, for your personality, for your like how practical you are, how positive you are, how professional you are. Okay, therefore always remember that whenever you say something, just whenever you commit yourself, follow your commitment and follow whatever you say. Okay, and then obviously if you say something, just be careful. If you cannot do that, don't say it. Okay. In especially in your in the business world. Okay, when you commit something, in future you will do businesses or you will do some sort of like you will start working somewhere. Okay. Therefore, the most important thing is when you say something that I will do that, then do it. Then try to make sure that you try to do it. Deliver it. Okay, but I mean, like, if you are not sure or you are unable to do that, don't be in a hurry. Okay, don't like mess up your image, because if you are not if you do not meet your standards, that you agreed okay, and you set up for yourself, then that means you are giving a message that you are not capable of delivering you are not capable of doing the job. Okay, you are like you can't do the job, okay? Or you are not fit for the job. Okay, you are not like professional. Therefore, integrity is extremely important. Whatever you do in your life, as a nation, integrity is important. As an individual, integrity is very important. There are two types of mindsets. Okay, you have heard about growth mindset, okay, and fixed mindset. Okay, they're like two mindsets. I don't know whether you know you you need to know about yourself, that whether you have a growth mindset or you have a fixed mindset. Okay, therefore, like fixed mindset is that you just in your brain you have something, you understood something and you don't want to change that, and you continue doing the same thing, and throughout in your life you never change. You whatever is you learn in the beginning, some from somewhere, you think that is correct, and then you will just fix that standard, and then you never never desire to learn new things, new ideas, new concepts. You just stick to that whatever you have in your brain, strictly like conservative mind. Okay, whatever you learn, whatever you started doing, whatever your style is, you just stick to that, you never change that. Okay, and you never try to learn new things, you never accept new ideas, you never welcome new theories. Okay, you never reflect yourself that you will find out something new. You uh, invent something new. Okay, you discover something new, but you are like, because of your fixed mindset, you don't do anything like that. Okay, on the contrary, we have growth mindset. Okay, growth mindset is, yeah, they are like, they think. Okay, they do extra mile. Okay, they try to understand what's going on. They work on ideas. Okay, they welcome new theories. Okay, they um, think about what's going on. They become more professional. Okay, and they focus on their practices. Okay, therefore this is something like growth mindset is, they are like growing, they develop, they focus on their personality. Okay, and with all time and ages, they grow, they remain like, stick to new professional ideas, new professional concepts, theories, whatever is, they stick to that. Okay, therefore they are very, they it is important to remember that the difference between fixed mindset and growth mindset. Okay, now you need to be, instead of having fixed mindset and just, no, I can't do that, I am this, I am that, and then stick to that. No, just think about, you know try to follow or be a growth mindset, okay, person. Okay, this way what you will do, you will open your learning, open up your like learning curve. Okay, you will never stop learning. Okay, therefore this is important for you guys to be to have a growth mindset. Okay, instead of having a fixed mindset. Okay, but like in our country, we can see that these politicians, whatever is the ruling class we have, they have like fixed mindset. They are corrupt, they just want like money, they don't want to serve Pakistani people. Therefore it's like a fixed mindset. They don't think what's going on in the world. They don't understand that where we are, they don't see we are behind. Okay, and they just continue whatever they think is good for them. Okay, and they are fixed mindset. In many companies you find their CEOs, you know they are like fixed mindset. They didn't think with their thoughts continue, like they stay in the same circle. Their thoughts uh, didn't like change with the time. Okay, you can see big companies CEOs, like I don't know if you heard about Kodak is used to be one of the biggest company dealing with these photography and all these things. Okay, but now they are like almost they are like, I think, small it used to be a big company, but now it's like a very small company. Okay, they couldn't focus on professionalism development. Therefore they become like with the time they lost their their grandeur, they lost the company, they lost everything. Okay, so you need to be you need to be a growth mindset person instead of a fixed mindset person. Yeah, same for Nokia as well. Nokia, we have many companies there, they didn't change with the time. They couldn't, keep up their pace. Okay. They couldn't follow what the new trends, new technologies, new system, new concept, new theories, and look at now where we have now. We have like AI, artificial intelligence. Therefore, time is moving fast. It is extremely important. You have heard about accountability, like Pakistani accountability, this accountability department in Pakistan. Okay, but accountability is extremely important. Okay, like all of you guys, uh, you need to understand that where you are, what you are. Accountability is an audit. You need to understand where you are standing. Okay, what you learned so far and what you need to learn. Okay, you need to consider everything that you learn in your life and what you need to learn, what you need to where what are your what are your strengths. Okay, what are your weaknesses. Okay, accountability is something that you analyze your personality. Okay, you analyze your you analyze your level of English, or you're like, actually where you stand. Okay. Therefore, accountability, you need to be, to follow this accountability. Okay. Because if you don't strictly take notice of whatever you're, don't understand whatever you are learning, or what you need to learn. Okay. Or, you don't pay attention, that means you are behind, you know because if you're not aware of where you stand. Okay, what is your situation. Okay, what is your level of English. Okay, for example, in terms of English, I'm talking about, like what is your level of English. If you are not familiar with that. Okay, if you don't understand, that means you're not matching your you're not meeting your goal. You're not matching your like um, you know, uh, matching your, like, how would say, like your development. Okay, it's important to focus on accountability. Okay, because I'm not there to, I'm not there to do to give you exam or give you test or something like that. Okay, you need to be responsible, you know, persons. Okay, if you are not responsible, if you don't take responsibility, your development responsibility, then I mean, like, then mean you are again like Nokia, like Kodak, or like these big companies. They used to be big, but then they couldn't, after that they couldn't keep up their business. Okay, therefore you need to be honest. Okay, and sit down every, like, whenever you study something, whenever you learn something new. Okay, then check yourself that whether you know what is the level of knowledge you have, whether you can challenge someone, or what are your strengths. Okay, what are your weaknesses, where you need to improve. Okay, these things are extremely important. Otherwise, if you are don't pay attention, if you don't pay attention, and you are like aimlessly working, or don't focus, then that means there is no point. You are like, you don't know whether you are learning or whether you are not learning. Like in our group, we have like around 1,000 something students. Okay, therefore only I think uh, if I count, around like 200 students are active. you know but I mean, if they don't focus on their learning. Okay, I just give you assignment. Now your job is to tell me, sir, I couldn't understand this portion. oh, I couldn't understand this part of the, you know, assignment, or I couldn't understand these sentences. Okay. I think only one or two people, they just do that. Otherwise, mostly they don't care. They just do the assignment, and maybe they don't come across any come or face any difficulty. Therefore, the most important thing is just ask me. Okay, think about, when you are analyze anything, just any assignment or anything, just focus and just find out the where you can improve or what you know. Okay, so that you can progress on those things which you don't know. You start learning those things, and then you can progress. Whatever the things, whatever the qualities you have, skills you have in your life, you need to analyze the level of those skills, so that you can, you need, whether it is competitive or not, whether you are in a competition, or you are like just you are a basic learner. Okay, therefore these things are through your accountability, through this accountability process, you will understand that. Okay, therefore everyone need to be accountable. Whatever you do, you need to just consider that whether you are doing in the right direction or whether you are not doing in the right direction. Okay, because wherever you miss that, you will and you don't focus on your development, you will stay behind. Okay, you cannot improve in your life. As we discuss always, that
Uh,
never memorize
Hello,
any
teacher.
word.
Hello, sir.
Gigi.
Uh, can we say for accountability also responsibility?
Accountability is like highest level of responsibility. You take responsibility. Whatever you do, you take responsibility of your, of your action. Okay, this is again accountability. Okay, now you are you are accountable whatever you do. There you are like you're taking responsibility. It's like more like the highest level of when we say accountability, that is the highest level of responsibility. That whatever your action is, because as a professional person now, wherever you go, they ask you, have you got any portfolio, have you got any what is your can you send us your experience. They need to know exactly where you stand. Okay, therefore this
Yeah.
is like accountability. Do you
Okay,
understand?
thank you. Yeah, thank
Never memorize any word or any definition. Okay, I don't want you guys to memorize, as I always say, that never memorize any word or any definition. Okay, if you practice, if you read, you will learn it. It's not like something like you need to memorize. Okay, sometimes you come across a single word many times. Okay, but because you don't pay attention and you couldn't remember the meaning of that word, but because when the moment when you start paying attention, you will remember that. When you read something, always annotate. Always, like on the book or on the paper, always write the meaning of that word. Write like a if you are reading a paragraph, write in a like short summary of the paragraph. Okay, it will help you understand. Okay, we call this annotate in English. As I discussed in the beginning, that with extensive reading and listening, you will remember words and their meanings. Okay, with practice, you will improve your pronunciation and vocabulary. Okay, and obviously you will also it will also help you understand grammar as well. So this is like everything is linked together. Okay, if you are doing the way I'm asking you guys to read extensively, okay, and focus on your pronunciation, then improve your vocabulary. Any word that you don't know, look up that word in the dictionary. Any grammar, when you read aloud, you will understand. Your brain will unconsciously start understanding grammar. Okay, now at the moment, this is consciously we are going to do our grammar, but your brain, when you read aloud, your brain will understand that how it works. Okay, and then we have uh, knowledge. We will get knowledge when you read aloud. You will get knowledge about something. Okay, like you will get content. Therefore these four things are extremely important, and when you know these things, you will you will it will increase your confidence. You will have confidence. you feel more, sometimes I heard people saying, oh, I'm not confident, I feel like hesitant, I can't speak a single word, because the problem is, either you don't know the meaning of that word, you're not sure about the meaning of what you say, or if you're sure about the meaning of what you say, you think maybe you don't know how to pronounce that. If you know how to pronounce that, maybe you think like, I don't know the grammar, okay? Because there are like so many doubts in your mind, okay, that really stop you speaking English, okay, and make you hesitant, make you like confused. The most important thing is, give extra time, so that when you clear all these doubts, okay, then your brain will not stop you. Now your brain have all these excuses, okay? But when you have good pronunciation, when you are sure about your vocabulary, when you're sure about grammar, when you know the subject matter, you can't stop. Then your brain is very reactive. Okay, your brain is like, when you are uh, like, the thing is, when you uh, keep pouring water, it will it will come out. When you keep pouring water into a glass, it will definitely come out. Okay, therefore, don't think like, if you are learning and then it is not working. Okay, some people think, oh, I am learning and it's not working, but the reality is, you are not giving enough practice. Okay, you are not doing enough practice, or you are not giving enough time to the subject that you study. Okay, we are doing past perfect tense. Okay, past perfect tense, this is very important. What is past perfect tense? Okay, a tense used to describe an action that happened before another action or time in the past. Okay, like past perfect is, like there are two actions. Okay, like let's say, now yesterday we were talking about, I talk about yesterday. Okay, and then something I just talked about before that. Okay, the one action, one action that I talk about before yesterday, that we write in the past perfect. But whatever I just say, whatever I talk about yesterday, I will use past tense. Okay, therefore it is like that that like we have something like, whatever happened yesterday. Okay, yesterday, and then for yesterday I use past tense. Okay, but let's say if I need to explain something, for whatever happened day before yesterday, let's say, okay, whatever happened day before yesterday, okay, then we need to use past perfect tense. Okay, therefore, whatever happened yesterday, when we are talking about, I'm talking to you guys. Yesterday, we did. Yesterday we did what? Yesterday we did. What was that? Yesterday we did a if poem. We read if poem. Okay. Yesterday we read if poem, and day before yesterday we had what? We had done assignment. We had done these two reading assignments. Okay. Therefore, when I talk about when I'm talking to you guys, okay, whatever is, like now another example we can use here, like let's say if I say like, we started this class, we started this class at 10 a.m. Okay, or we say when I reached Okay. When I reached home, sir had started the class. Okay. When I reached there, because the one action happened, there are two actions. One, the second action happened after first action. Okay. The second action happened before first action. This sir had started the class mean when I reach home, sir had started the class. Okay. Therefore, a tense used to describe an action that happened before another action or time in the past. Okay. Therefore, I reach home. Let's say uh, I reach home like you know 10:30. Okay, but sir has started the class at 10. Okay, I reach home at 10:30, but sir had started the class at 10. Okay. Example, I had finished my homework before my mom came home. Okay, I had finished my homework before my mom came home. Okay, that before you know uh, before his mom, he has finished he had finished his homework. Okay, it's completion. Past perfect is showing a completion, that you completed the task before another that task you completed, that is actually before whatever the task you are discussing about. Okay. Okay, English language and okay, to show an action that happened before another past action. Okay, when to use past perfect, that to show an action that happened before another past action. Okay, I had finished my work before he called me. Okay, before he called me, I have finished my work. Okay, therefore we have like two actions here. If you notice that we have one action is here, this is an action. Okay, this is an action we have two action before he called me. Okay, this is first action, and then we have another action is here. We have another action. There are two actions. I had finished my work before he called me. Okay, therefore, what happened? This action happened. This action happened before he. This is the like before he called me. Okay, this is like a second action, and this is the first action. Okay, this is our first action. Whatever happened, we have completed. I had finished my work. This is like a first action, and then before he called me is the second action. Okay, another action like in front of us to show a past experience before a specific time. Okay, that she had never seen a lion before visiting the zoo. Okay, therefore this is another in front of us. Okay, she had never seen a lion before visiting the zoo. Okay, there are many people they had never experienced anything. Okay, therefore she had never seen a lion before visiting the zoo. Okay, and then we have to describe reason for past action. Okay, he was tired because he had work all night. Okay, to describe a reason, but mainly to remember, we always used past perfect for this. Okay, we always use past perfect for this to action. You know you major usage of past perfect is when we use this for this. This is the major usage in front of us. Okay, we always use past perfect. Visiting the zoo is past. Okay, she had never seen a lion before visiting the zoo. Okay, therefore visiting the zoo is past. Okay, because action has completed in this sentence. Okay, therefore it shows like it is we are talking about past. It's not there is nothing to do with present here. Okay. Again, we make affirmative sentences, we always use had here. Had and past, third form of verb. Okay, and then we have had not, and then we have then we have this
Interact.
we bring this. Okay, we have like a always had. Okay, we always use helping verb had. Okay, in past perfect we always use had. Then when we make interrogative, when we make negative, we always use had not. Okay, and when we make interrogative, we bring had in the beginning. Okay, therefore after always, after had, we have here third form. Okay, this is a third form. Then this is always, we have third form. Remember that. Okay, always we have third form. I don't know if you remember that. Always we have third form. Always has, have, and had. Okay, we always have a third form after all this. Okay, past participle, and which is B3. Has, have, and had. And then we have past participle. Okay, we have always have, has, have, had, plus past participle or verb, third form of verb. Past participle, we have V3. Okay. Yeah, two action, before, yeah, exactly, two action, exactly, you're right. Okay, we, common time expressions, what we use before, after, okay, when, by the time, already, just, never, until, as soon as possible. Okay, like we have by the time we arrive, by the time we arrive. Okay, by the time we arrive, the movie had already started. Okay, by the time we arrived, the movie had already started. Okay, therefore this is like for us is by the time we arrived, it is the first this action is past as well, and this action is past as well. Both actions are to do with past, remember. And she had never met him before the party. Okay, she had never met him before the party. Okay, I had I have I had attending the wedding ceremony before I have attended your wedding ceremony before I got married. Okay? Therefore, it's something like that. Like both actions are in past. Okay? Clearly, we can understand that both actions are in past. Okay. Like we have past perfect is I had eaten lunch before they arrived. Okay. But what is in the past simple, we say I ate lunch at 12 p.m. Okay. Therefore, it's like a difference we can understand. I had eaten lunch. Okay, this is like a past perfect. Okay, but in past simple, we say I ate lunch at 12 p.m. Okay, there's a clearly like we don't use any helping verb or third form of verb here. Okay. But this incident is when we say I ate lunch at 12 p.m., that means this incident is before that incident. Okay, this incident is before that incident. Okay. She had finished her work before the meeting. Okay, and she finished her work at 3 p.m. Okay. Therefore, with the past simple, we have a time, specific time. Okay. But here we have like a she finished her work. She started and she finished. Okay, but here we have like she had finished her work before the meeting. Okay, before the meeting started, she had finished her work. Okay, this is the difference between past perfect and past simple. We have a difference in past perfect and past perfect continuous. Okay, therefore, when we say I had read the book before the test. Okay, I had read the book before the test. Okay, but when we say past perfect continuous, that is I had been reading the book for 2 hours. Okay, the time will come in past perfect. We always we focus on the continuation of action. Okay, past perfect continuous is like we focus on the continuation of action. Okay, therefore here we know that this action was this action continued in the past. Okay, I had been reading the book for 2 hours. Okay, and we don't know when he finished reading the book, but we knew that he had been reading the book for 2 hours. Okay, if you don't understand, please ask me. Okay. She had lived in Paris before moving. Okay, she had lived in Paris before moving. Okay, but here she had been living in Paris for 2 years. Okay, she had been living in Paris for. Now here we have in past perfect, we always have a time. Okay, in past perfect we always have time. Okay, here we have time. Okay, the thing that make it difference is time. Here we don't have time. Okay, here time is not given. Okay, but here we know that it was the action continued. Okay, still continued in the past. Okay, it's like it didn't in this in this we what we learn in this this side and this side, that action continued. Okay, still working. Okay, I had been reading the book. We don't know when I left him. Okay, he had been reading the book for 2 hours. Okay, but I didn't know that when did he stop. Okay, when I met him, he had been reading. At that time, he had been reading for 2 hours. Okay, but after 2 hours, I observed him for 2 hours, and he told me that I had been reading for 2 hours, and then after that I left, and I didn't know that. I didn't know that whether he had been reading after that or he left reading. Okay, he stopped reading. Therefore, that's the reason we have 2 hours. This is like a continuous. We left, and action is working, still going on. Okay, she had been living in Paris mean for 2 years ago, because when I left Paris, she had been living for 2 years. When I left, she had been living there for 2 years. Okay, therefore, this is the way. This is like because of the time. This is time specific, and it is like a, it is like a, there is a continuity. That when I left, she had been living in Paris. After that, I didn't know what happened to her. But in this one, she had lived in Paris before. She had lived in Paris mean that maybe at the moment she uh, she she's somewhere else. She lives in maybe she lives in Canada. Okay, but she had lived in Paris in past before moving. Okay, because now she before moving, but now she doesn't live there anymore. She lives in somewhere else. Okay, but she had lived in Paris. That means that in past, sometime we don't know exactly how long she stayed in Paris. Okay, therefore the first one is not time specific. The second one is time specific, and the action is still uh, you know uh, keep going. Okay, it's working. Action is going on. Okay. Yeah, since and for we used with the past perfect continuous. Okay, we will use that. We will, when it comes to past perfect continuous tense or present perfect continuous tense, then we will use since and for. Okay, therefore you can notice here we use for here. Okay, therefore in this we used for. This is for and this is for. Okay, because the time is not specific. If the time is specific, then we use since. Okay, but if the time is not specific, then we use for. Okay, but generally speaking, nowadays everywhere they use for. Whenever I read anything, they use for. Okay, they don't use since. Okay, but we will, when we do present perfect continuous and past perfect continuous, then we will discuss about that as well. Okay, we have practice sentences. We have affirmative sentences. She had finished her homework before dinner. Okay, she had finished her homework before dinner. Okay, they had visited Paris before they moved to London. Okay? Therefore, they had visited Paris before they moved to London. Okay, therefore we notice that how they have this uh, affirmative sentence or positive sentences, how they have, like, she had finished okay, helping verb and third form of verb. Okay, her homework before dinner. Okay, she had finished her homework before dinner. Okay, now the action had completed in the past. Okay, but what we understood that she had finished her homework before dinner. Okay, they had visited Paris. They had visited Paris. Had visited Paris and before they moved to London. Okay, before they moved to London. Maybe before they moved to London, they had visited Paris. Mhm. Sorry, what is that? I don't understand. What is that used for? Or we don't use or here. She had finished her homework before dinner. They had visited Paris before they moved to London. We had lost his keys before he reached home. Okay. He had lost his keys before he reached home. There is like a quite clear that they are like, one action is before the uh, before the before the current action that we are doing. Okay. That is why we use had. We had already eaten when she arrived. Okay. We had eaten when she arrived. Okay. Sorry. The train had left before we got to the station. Okay. When we reached station, the train had left. Here we have another, past perfect. And this is simple past. This one is simple past. And the first one is past perfect. Okay. He had never seen a lion before going to the zoo. Okay. Before visiting zoo, she had never seen a lion. Okay. I had read that book before the teacher assigned it. Okay. The teacher asked to read it. You have already read that book. Okay. You had read that book before teacher asked you to read it. Okay. The rain had stopped by the time we went outside. Okay. Therefore, again, we have like, by the time, before. Okay. He had completed the project before the deadline. Okay. Before the deadline. Okay. The deadline passed already, but he had completed the project. Like shows completion as well. Okay. By the time I woke up, my parents had left for work. Okay. By the time I woke up, okay. By the time I woke up, my parents had left for work. Okay. These are positive sentences. Okay. The first one is, if the first one is present, sorry, past indefinite, simple past or past indefinite, the second sentence is past perfect. Okay, but make sure that this incident, that the, like, there are like two actions, but the action with the had, this action happened with before. Okay, this is like our first action. This is our first action. Okay, this is our first action. Okay, and this is our this is obviously dinner is our second. Had visited Paris. Okay, this is our first action. Had visited Paris. This is our first action. Okay, action. Okay, and move to London is our second action. Second action. Okay. Move to London is our second action. He had lost his keys. Had lost is like the first action. Okay. We don't have classes daily. We have classes on Saturday, Sunday. We only have classes on Saturday, Sunday. Not we don't have daily classes. Okay. Hope you guys understand that, and we'll go for negative sentences. Again, negative sentences are in front of us. She had not finished. Okay, had not finished is like we have in front of us. Always what we do after this had, and then we have not. Okay, after we have this had and not. Okay, we have not here, we have not here, then third form, then not, then third form, then not, had not eaten, third form, then had not left, third form. Okay, had not seen, had not read. We don't say read. Okay, the first form is read, but after that we always, the second and third form is read. Okay, the rain had not stopped. Okay, had not completed or had not left for work. Okay, but these are all we have with a negative sentences. Okay, always with helping verb, we always, like, if you are helping verb, like, when we say does not. Okay, or when we can say do not. Okay, or we can say did not. We just make like a negative sentences: does not, do not, did not, and then with everything we always use first form of V1. Okay, always we use first form of verb. But on the other hand, if we have like this has, have, had, after that we have third form, we always had third form of verb. Okay, has, have, had, after that we always have a third form of verb. Remember that. These things, try to remember that. Okay, if you do not remember that, you will, like, there is like then obviously again, you are not focusing on your accountability. Okay, please mute your speaker. Let's move to the final part, interrogative sentences. Okay, had she already submitted her assignment before the deadline? Okay, again we can see that here we have, the important thing is we have had and we have question mark. Okay, we had and we have question mark here. Okay, we had and we have question mark here. Had he forgotten his wallet before leaving the house? Had the bus departed? Okay, we have had here, we have had here, we have question mark, we have question mark. Always remember, when you write any sentence, do not write any capital in the middle. Do not write unless it is a proper noun. It is a name of a person or a name of a town or something important. Then you can use capital letter. I've seen some of you guys. I cannot, like, for me, okay, if I show you guys my mobile phone, it is full of your assignments. Okay, my whole space is almost packed with your assignments. Okay, but the problem is, I don't want you want to stop you that don't send me your assignment. I want you to continue working, okay, to encourage you guys so that you work more, okay. But the important thing is you need to take responsibility. If you don't understand, I go through those assignments quickly, okay, because I cannot if I got hundreds of pages, okay, but I cannot go through each page, every time. If I go through each page, and then each lines and each word, okay, for me it's almost impossible, okay. But for you guys, it is important. If you don't understand, ask, underline that, sir, I don't understand this, then can you look at this specifically, because I was not sure about this, okay. Therefore, ask me, underline that, okay. And then obviously, uh, you will, and make sure that because what we discussed, that is the reason I want everyone to attend the class, okay. If you don't attend the class, that means you didn't learn anything. Then again, this had and this we have here, interrogative, had, never. Always remember that she already submitted her assignment before the deadline, okay. Had they ever traveled to Europe before their trip to Paris? Okay. Had he forgotten his wallet before leaving the house? Or had the bus departed? Departed mean left. Okay. Has the bus departed? Started the journey. When we say departed, mean the bus has started the journey. Had the bus departed before you arrived at the top? Okay. Remember that this is the past sentence. The past tense would stay same. Okay. We are not making interrogative of this sentence. Remember that. Okay. You arrived at this is not interrogative. The interrogative is, this is interrogative sentence, the one, this is interrogative. Had the bus departed. Okay. Okay, this is interrogative sentences. And do not write anything in the middle. Do not write capital S. Do not write capital F. All you are like mature students. Okay, you should be careful when you are writing. You should never write any capital S or A, or sometimes usually S. They are like S or F. They are like, or something like above the line, or no, don't write that. You need to write, if when you are writing, always write like in small. Okay, everything that is coming, write in small letters. Okay, the first sentence, except the first letter of the first sentence, is in capital. Okay, but rest all are in small. And question sentences, we always use question mark. Okay, and full stop is, again, when you have other sentences, always use full stop. Another thing is, when you have, I told you guys that what we have here, I told you guys, like, you have this, like, do not, does not, and did not. Okay. And then we have verb, first form of verb always. Okay. Then we discussed before, another thing we discussed, has not, has not, has not, have not, or had not. Okay. third form of verb. Okay. Whenever we have has, okay, or we have like, we always use, do not, does not, did not, first form of verb. Has not, have not, had not, third form of verb. Okay. But whenever we use, after is, are, am, was, were, be, been, is, are, am. We always have third form of verb. Okay. Remember that we always have third form of verb. Okay. Whenever we have is, are, am, was, were, be, been, and being, and plus third form of verb, then we call this passive voice. Okay. Remember that this is the, whenever we have after is, are, am, these are active voice. Okay. What we done, this is active voice. This is active voice. Okay. This is active voice. This is active voice. Okay. This is active voice. Okay. And this is active voice as well. Okay. This one is active voice. This is active voice. Okay. But in this context, this one is that the one I have written for you guys. This is passive voice. Okay. This is passive voice. And when we do examples, you will understand that. But as as a reminder, so that you will remember and it will help you understand. When you read, always, with is, are, am, was, were, be, been, being, plus third form, that means it is a passive voice. Okay, it is a passive voice. Like if I give you example that you are asked to work hard. Okay. Therefore, you are asked to work hard. After are, we have asked. Okay, we have are. After are, we have third form of verb. Okay, then this is like a passive voice. That someone else asked him. It's not the person is not the driver of it's not he is the someone asked him to do that. Okay, someone ask you are asked to. Okay, someone ask you to do that. Okay, it's not like you are doing this yourself. This is not like your sentence. You are not the driver of the sentence. Okay, someone else is controlling the sentence. Okay, someone else just order you to do that. You are asked to work hard. Yes, please ask question. If you have a question, ask please. Yes, please ask the question if you have a question.
Assalamualaikum, sir.
Walaikum salam.
Sir, kindly repeat the sentence when you use Paris before they move. Sir, I can't understand.
Oh, Paris before they move. Okay.
Positive sentences, affirmative.
Oh, I see. Okay. Did you understand all these? Like is, RM, was, were, be, been, being, all these after all these, if we have a, plus third form of verb, we will have passive voice. Okay. And when you are asked to work hard, okay, or we say,
Okay. Sir, you have discussed when we can't make active voice sentences of a stative verb.
When we
or
can't
not?
say.
So we haven't make passivized sentences of stative verb. So you have discussed or not?
No, we will discuss that. I'm just explaining. I'm just, just giving you like a sort of like a, we will do it, we will do it in our next classes, probably. We are working on tenses at the moment, but we will do passivize as well, definitely. Okay. Well, I'm
Okay.
just, it is really straightforward. Some people, can pick up as well. Therefore, it's easy. It's not difficult. But I explain, like, so that you can have like idea what is passivize. The car is driven by him. Okay. The car is driven by him. Okay. Therefore, after is we have third form. Okay. Driven. Okay. After are we have third form. Okay. Which is asked. Okay. Therefore, here the car is driven by him. Okay. Therefore, the car is like someone else is driving the car. Okay. Therefore, it's not the car is driven. The car is not a subject here. Okay. Car is like a object here. Okay. That someone else is driving, and we don't know whose him is, who's that person is. Okay. Well, obviously, we will do passivize in detail. Yeah, the cake was baked by my mother. Yes, exactly. You're right. Okay, you didn't understand the last one. Let's go back to the last one. Yes, Aisha, what you didn't understand? Can you ask me, please, now? She had finished her homework before dinner. What is that?
So in the sentence, difference between past and past perfect.
Which sentence? Any
So
sentence?
no, sir, not in these sentences. This is the difference between both of them, past tense and the past perfect.
Yeah, this is like a past in
Paris,
the. Yeah. This.
uh, she had visited before. She had visited Paris before they moved. So sentence is there.
She had visited Paris before
Moved.
before they moved to London.
No, sir, before they move just. Sir, that is a sentence, I think it's back. Uh, that is a difference between two sentences.
Oh, different.
One is,
She had lived in Paris before moving.
yes, yes,
Okay.
sir.
She had lived in Paris before moving. Okay. Before moving somewhere else, because remember that wherever we have another important thing in English is whenever we have a preposition, okay, we always use ing form. Okay. Whenever we have preposition, like if we use let's say, like let's say after preposition we always use ing form. Okay, remember that after preposition in of, okay, before, okay, and after. Okay. Okay, after, and there are a couple of more as well. Okay, in, of, before, after, to. Okay, we always, when the verb is coming, we always use verb, okay, plus ing form. Okay, verb plus ing form. Ing form. Okay, like here we have here verb plus ing form. Like here she had lived in Paris before moving. Okay, now it is in the past. Actually, it is in the past. Okay, that she moved somewhere else, but because we have this here, before is used as a preposition. Okay, Okay, here before is used as a preposition. Okay, therefore she had lived in Paris before moving. Okay, therefore it's something like, before she moved out somewhere else. Okay, but he before he moved to Australia or anywhere, we said before moving. Okay, therefore before immediately is becomes a preposition here. Okay, and then that's why we write before moving. Okay, and here she had been living in Paris for 2 years. And with the time specific mean that when I left the Paris, when I left Paris, not left the Paris. Okay, when I left Paris, she was still there. She had been living there for 2 years. Okay, in this sentence, that she had been there for when I left, when I left Paris, she had been living there for 2 years. Okay. When I left Paris, she had been living there for 2 years. Okay. Therefore, it is like same thing when I was there. When I saw him last time, at that time I knew that he had been living there for 2 years. But after that I didn't know whether she lived another 5 years or whether she immediately moved out. I don't have a knowledge. I didn't know about that. Okay. Therefore, this is like a continuous is like a time, gives you exactly time, when you are for how long you had been doing that action. Okay. But perfect mean that action is completed. You just moved out, closed, and you are not there anymore. Okay. Therefore, this is like I had read the book before the test. Okay. I had read the book before the test. The test is like over as well. But I had read the book before that. Did you understand now or not?
Sir, why are we using ing?
This is in English. After wherever there is preposition, when we say write a sentence like I look forward to hearing from you. Okay. Okay. Now here we can see that I look forward to hearing from you. Okay. Usually after to we always write first form of verb. After to we always write to speak. Okay. To work. Okay. To go. Okay. To sleep, always first form of verb. Okay. But here in some sentences where we use to as a preposition, okay, to as a preposition, again as a preposition, okay, then we always use here, like in this sentence, I look forward to hearing from you. Okay. Now here after to we have ing form. Okay. Therefore, if you notice this here, after to we have ing form here. Therefore, it's like in English. This is a language. You can't. I said that after preposition it is ing form, but if it is used as a verb here, like it is used as a verb here, okay, then it is to speak, to work. Okay. I wanted to join you. I wanted to speak to you. I wanted to work for you. I wanted to go to picnic. Okay. I wanted to sleep. Okay. Therefore, this is like we always with the when it is used as a first form of verb, when it is used as a verb, we call this infinitive. Okay. But here it is as a gerund. This is called gerund. Hearing is this is when we write. This is called gerund. Okay, gerund. This ing form is hearing is whenever we say verb plus ing form. Okay, we call this gerund.
Sir, in also past perfect tense we have used ing, or another tense we have used ing also.
We can use ing form. That's not a problem. Ing, when you write, you use ing form. Ing is like, before moving. This is like this is here, it is like a, before moving it's like a, it's like a preposition. I told you, it's like a preposition, it's not, but before moving, okay, that we know that that she had lived in Paris, okay, before moving, okay. Well, because I've seen her moving, okay, therefore I've seen her moving. I witnessed that, I noticed that she was moving, okay. Therefore, what I'm saying that she had lived in Paris before moving, okay, because
Okay.
she's one of my friend, okay, I know her, okay, and she lived in Paris before moving. Yes, please. Yes, anyone else, you want to ask something?
Sir, kindly repeat when we use past perfect tense, duration of time. We have discussed two events also.
When we say past
I
perfect
had just
continuous,
missed the. No, sir, past perfect.
yeah, we can have, we usually we have two events as well, okay, but I mean with the time as well, with time specific, we can use that, okay. Before the test, I had read the book before the test, or we can say that I had read the book before I took exam, okay. We can say that I had read the book before I took exam. I
Sir,
had read the book before I took exam. Yes.
sir, what is the difference between both of them? Sir, in past perfect continuous, we have used only one event or the two events.
And we can use two, we can use one. If we it's like a time specific, we can use even one as well. It's not like we have to make always two events. No, no. But before the
Sir,
test,
kindly.
another look at this, there are like there are again, actually, if you notice here, there are two events, two incidents, two actions, okay? One is before the
Hmm.
test. One is before the test, okay? And the other one is the first action happened, he read the book, okay? And the second was before the test. Okay, therefore this is like a this one is uh this one is first action here, okay? And this one is second action here. Okay, this was the first and this was second before the test. Something there was an action. Okay, but obviously it's not in past simple. You know, did you understand?
Yes, sir. Sir, kindly difference between both of them.
Difference
I have confused.
between like past between this first and second action.
No, sir. Sir, difference between past perfect and past perfect continuous.
No,
When we use
past perfect continuous is with time. Here we have time. Just if you notice that, here we have time, 2 hours. Okay. Here we have 2 hours. Okay. We have 2 years. Okay. 2 hours and 2 years. Here we don't have any time specific. Continuous is like is always ing form. This is always with I had
this
been.
action is the event is not completed in the past.
That is in the past, it's continuous, it's ongoing. The action was ongoing, okay. That means this tense mean that action was ongoing, okay. But this action means this is completed. This is a completed action. Here it is a completed action, okay. Completed action. This is completed action and this one is ongoing, okay. Ongoing, ongoing for how many years? For 2 hours and for 2 years and 2 years, okay.
Sir,
Ongoing.
when we use both of them, because sir, a number of sentences that is we have put helping verb and a number of things. So, sir, we have confused because sir, in PPSC or in another test, sir, sentences also complicated. So that's why I have asked this,
No,
when
no,
we
it's all
use
right.
both of.
It's all right. That's
Sir,
no
when
problem. This is ongoing. This is here ongoing. This is completed action. Okay. When there is a time, when there is a had been, always had been, when we say, like, let me get another something like space. Yes, if we say like here, like, had been working, okay, had been working, or we say has, or had been, or have been, or had been, okay, working or anything like, then that means with the time, okay, for has been, had been, have been for 2 months, okay, 2 months. That
Sir,
means
we have used since also.
you use what, sorry?
Since.
Since we can use it when it's like a specific time, okay, since November, okay, we say since November, since March, okay. She has been working since March, okay. When we say has been or have been working since March, that means it is ongoing at the moment, still she has been working, okay. But when we say had been working, that means in the past when you left, the action was going on, you know. Did you understand or not?
Yes, sir.
Hmm?
Sir, discuss also uses of it.
Uses of it.
Yes, uses of both tenses, sorry.
Uses is that's what we are discussing. Usage is like, we had okay, let me just give you more examples. Let me just make you.
Sir, in starting you have wrote we have used past perfect before tense. You have used three uses of it. Sir,
Yeah, this is the three usage. Okay, we have show the past experience before a
yes, sir.
specific time. Okay, therefore that's what
Sir,
I'm
sir,
talking
first one.
about. That's what I'm talking about, before a specific time. When we say, she had never seen a lion before visiting the zoo. Okay, before visiting the zoo, she had never seen the lion. This is like very logical. If you see, that how it works. Okay, see the language like, imagine that you are saying something to someone. Okay, then you will understand that. This is something like, this is not a something like a abstract concept we are discussing. Okay, this is not abstract. Okay, this is a real concept. Okay, if you just imagine that you are telling someone that, but he's not present there. You're not talking about in the present. Okay, you're talking about in past. Okay, therefore you just you are telling that I had finished my work before he called me. Okay, now in this first instance we have like before he called. Okay, before he called me. Okay, and then you said next sentence, she had never seen a lion before visiting the zoo. Okay, before visiting the zoo, she had never seen the lion. Okay, therefore you just, you're telling a story to someone that, this happened with us. We went there. Okay, I took my friend with me, and then we were heading towards the zoo. Okay, and when I reached there, I noticed that she had never seen the lion before visiting the zoo. Do you understand or not?
Yes, sir, little bit.
Little bit. That's very good, little bit. You're like my student. They sometimes, when you explain them everything, they say, sir, we don't understand. In England, it's easy to say that straight away, just to, to give tough time to your teacher. They tell you, oh, sir, we don't understand. Okay? But it's okay. That's no problem. Now, what you didn't understand, what is bothering you? Just.
Sir, thanks to you. So you have used the real thing because we have this infant toddler to up till now this we have read sentences, read tenses, but in reality tense is totally different. So but you have share things that we have used in the reality. So that's why I am just confused because uh, I'm good to see you that you have used reality sentences
Yeah,
that
real
happen
life sentences.
in
Yeah.
the real life also. So that's why, sir, I just tell you.
No,
So
it's no
that's why,
problem. I mean, like the only thing is the important thing is unfortunately that's why I'm saying that when you are
yes,
now the now thing is again if it's a theory we are a concept,
yes,
okay, but when you practice that when we read few paragraph and when I ask you to write like 500 words 5 or 6 assignments, okay, then it will etch in your mind, it will like stamp in your mind, okay, then once it's stamped then you will say, oh sir, now I understand that, okay, but the problem is at the moment this is like a initial stage, okay, we discussed this and this is probably a very genuine concern that you are like telling me that you didn't understand, okay, it's not I'm not really I don't have any problem with that, but I mean like the thing is because without practice you won't learn, okay, without as this is because the language is like a natural phenomena, okay, natural thing, okay. Therefore, you need to, you need to learn language in action. That, as I told you that, we went to, I went to the station and I was coming from London. I took my plane, but when I reached there, I missed when I reached there, my plane had left. Okay, when I reached there, my plane had left. Okay, therefore, then what happened? Then I took another ticket. Okay, and I just, I've been waiting at the airport. I had been waiting, okay, at the airport for 2 hours. Okay, I had been waiting at the airport for 2 hours because that time, and then I again, obviously, I'm narrating this again. Therefore, I continue on going. I was waiting at the airport for 2 hours. Okay, and I had been waiting at the airport for 2 hours, and after 2 hours, and I found out that my plane is like, my plane left again. Okay, or had left. When I reached there, my plane had left. Okay, so it's something like when we practice, you will definitely understand this. Okay, or maybe we can have some more example if you want. We can discuss some more examples as well.
okay, sir.
Let me find some more examples. Canva is all like it's not free. It is pro version. I use everything pro.
Hello, Assalamu alaikum.
Welcome, Salam.
Sir, this last sentence is a past perfect, sir. He has started because he had worked all right.
Let me just give me 1 minute, please, Sarfraz. I'll tell you. I'll explain you.
Okay.
Okay, sorry. Sarfraz, which sentence you're talking about?
So this last sentence.
He was tired because he
He
had
was
worked.
tired because he
He was
had
tired
worked.
because he had worked all night.
Yes.
Because he was tired because he had worked all night. Okay. Because the second action is like a perfect, because it happened before the first action.
जी.
Is
It
that
means
okay?
past perfect.
Yeah,
Okay, sir.
past perfect, exactly.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, we are going to do some more examples now. Okay. Probably you can't see that text. Now, can you read this text in front of me?
Yes, sir. It's better than if we little found up.
Okay. Can you read now? Is it better?
Yes.
Yes, sir. We can read.
Yes, sir.
Take off. Yeah, we can use take off and left as well. Yes, we can use take off and left as well. Okay, past perfect and difference between past perfect continuous. Okay. Now we have she had finished her homework before dinner. Okay. And here we are she had been finishing her homework before dinner. Okay. She had been finishing her homework. This is sort of like a, we have here like, we have had been here. Okay, this had been finishing. Okay, therefore always where we have where we have like as I said earlier, with perfect tense what we do, we have always uh, has, have, and had. Okay, plus been plus verb and ing form of verb, okay? ing verb, ing form, okay? Has, have, had, plus been, plus verb, okay? And plus ing form, okay? Now, let me just explain. Okay, we always have okay, here we have has, have, had, plus been, plus verb, plus ing form of verb. And here we have, here what we have structure is, here we have has, have, and has, have, had, okay? And plus V3. Therefore, in this, in past perfect, we have has, have, we have, just make it more precise. We have had, okay? We have had instead of has, have, had plus third form of verb, okay? And while we have here, this is and then we can take this as well. We had in past perfect continuous, we have had plus been plus verb V1 plus ing form of verb. Okay. Therefore, and then obviously we have for or since as well. For or since as well. But it could come without for and since as well. Okay. It's not like necessarily there is a for or since as well, but it could come without for or since as well. Okay. And now this is like two. She had finished her homework before dinner. Okay. But she had been finishing her homework before dinner. Okay. But I mean, like here, she had been before dinner, she had been finishing. I didn't see her that she finished the work. Okay. But she's been asked, okay, that before dinner she had been working. Okay. Before dinner, it had been, noticed that, or I found it, okay. I saw that she had been finishing her homework before dinner. Okay. If we take the second example, they had lived in Paris before moving to London. Okay. They had been living in Paris before moving to London. Okay. Now, again, this is because of our structure. Okay. It shows that they had been, the time is not mentioned. Okay. But before time is mentioned in a sense that it is before moving to London. Okay. Before moving to here as well, before moving to London. Okay. And then here we have the time is before dinner. Okay. Here we have time is before dinner. Before dinner here. Okay. The next sentence is he had worked at the company for 5 years before quitting. Okay. Now, this is the action is not ongoing. Okay. If you notice this whole side, okay. Okay. In the action, in this side, action is not ongoing. It is completed here. Okay. And it is ongoing here. It is in this side, we have ongoing action. Okay. We have ongoing action. Ongoing. Okay. But here we have here completed action. Here we have completed action. It is not ongoing. Okay. It is not ongoing. It is completed action. Okay. This side is completed action and this is ongoing. Okay. he had worked at the company for 5 years before quitting. Okay, he had worked there for 5 years. It's completed. Now he was not working there anymore. Okay, but the next sentence is he had been working at the company for 5 years before quitting. Okay, therefore that means here it says that it is like here it is completed, but before quitting, we knew that he had been working there for 5 years. Okay, but again, this is ongoing. This is ongoing here. Okay, but again, we will understand through had been working. We understand that this is the continuous past, continuous past perfect continuous tense. Okay. Oh, we have all these sentences with before or before. Oh, really? Okay. No. It is making more confusion, but we can say that. Let me just rewrite these sentences for you guys, okay? Because I think it is like all with the. Let me do that. We can say that she had been working. He had been working. She had been finishing her. She had been finishing her work. Finishing her work. She had been finishing her work for 2 hours or 2 hours. She had been finishing her work. Because sometimes in English language, in grammar, how it works, okay? Are you here? Yes. In grammar, how it works, okay? That sometimes, when you are writing a sentence, okay, your brain doesn't accept that. Okay? Therefore, now this is when I'm writing this, she had been finishing her work for 2 hours, my brain doesn't accept that. Okay. In grammatically, it should be like that. Okay. For 2 hours. Okay. For 2 hours, but it doesn't. My brain doesn't accept that. Okay, this is not. I feel like something is wrong with this sentence. Okay, therefore,
Yes, sir.
with
That is the
practice,
way.
you learn this, that there is something. There is. I feel like there is something wrong with this sentence. She had been finishing. Okay, how I can do that? Okay, because again, it is English language. Okay, it is their language. Okay, I can't do that, but I can. If I want to correct this, I will say she has been working. She has been working for 2 hours. Okay, she has been working for 2 hours, or she has been working since 2 o'clock. She has been working since 2 o'clock or since 2 p.m. Okay. She has been working since 2 p.m. Okay, this is a perfect example. But I mean, like, whatever is, this is correct. Finishing her homework before dinner. That is correct. Okay, but if I write here that she has been finishing her homework for 2 hours, that is not correct. Okay, therefore, you learn these things with practice. Okay, and let's do another example. They had lived in Paris. They had lived in Paris before moving to London. Okay, now they had been living in Paris. What we can do is they had been living in Paris. Paris, okay. For how many years? For 5 years. Okay. 5 years. They have been living in Paris for 5 years. Okay. They have been living in Paris for 5 years. Okay. Or we can say they have been living in Paris since 19 since 2016. Okay, they have been living in Paris since 2016. Okay, all right, for 5 years. For 5 years. Sorry, have been is present perfect continuous. Okay, but we're talking about had been living in Paris for 5 years. Okay, this is past perfect continuous. Okay, but any more when we say has been, when we say she has been living there for 5 years, that is still continuous. Still she started 5 years is gone that she's been living there. Okay, they have been living there, but still they are living there. When we say in present, okay, they have been, when we say they have been living in Paris for 5 years, that mean they are living, that they spent already 5 years there, but still they are living in Paris. Okay, but when we say had been living in Paris for 5 years, that means that they had been living for 5 years. At that time, we don't know exactly whether they move out or what happened after that, but we knew that for 5 years they lived in Paris. Okay, but after that, whatever happened, we don't know exactly whatever happened. Okay, the train had been running before we reached the station. Okay, do you understand now, or what is the situation? Is it better or the same?
Okay, sir. I understood, sir.
That's good. And what about Aisha?
Yes, sir, better.
It's better.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, therefore, I mean, all these sentences are like, maybe in the next sentence we will have more. I mean, these are correct, absolutely correct. I'm not saying that they are not correct. But here again, we have the meaning is, again, this had been living in that means it is like a past perfect continuous. Okay. When we have had, and then, we have this third form of verb. We have had and third form of verb. That means past perfect, that the action has been completed. Okay, and here it is action is ongoing. Okay, action is ongoing. Okay, therefore that is the sort of like difference between past perfect tense and past perfect continuous. We will practice. When we practice, you will definitely, it will help you, it will be clear. Okay, because now at the moment it's like, some sort of like a, it's a bit too much theory, and we practiced as well, but still, like, it's like it's confusing. Okay, any other question you guys have now? Yes, any question, if you guys have any question, you can ask me.
Sir, last sentence.
Yes.
It had rained before the match started. Sorry, and the kids had played outside before it got dark.
Sorry, which one is the last sentence?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the kids had been playing outside before it got dark. Okay, therefore, this is like again, had been playing is like, we understood that this is a past perfect continuous tense. Okay, had been playing outside before it got dark. It got dark mean like, or you can, the same sentence you can write in this way as well. The same sentence as I discussed earlier, that you can write it this way as well. Same sentence you can write it this way. Yes, let me show you. The kids had been playing outside. Okay, for like the kids had been playing outside before it got dark. Okay, for, like, we can say for, but again we need to give a time, timeline for any time, for how many hours, for 5 hours, for 6 hours, or but if we say before evening, okay, before evening. Okay, before evening. Or even you can say the kids had played okay, outside before evening. Had played outside is, I think, more appropriate. Okay, played outside before before evening. Okay, I mean, like, this is again, both sentences are correct. Okay, both sentences are, this sentence is correct, this past perfect is correct, and past perfect continuous is correct. Okay, but I mean, like, where I give this impression that the sentence is completed. Okay, I will never use this before. I never use this. She had been finishing her homework before dinner. Okay, I think the more appropriate to use this. Okay, with before, you always use. I would say that uh, I think I will not use this, probably. This is more appropriate to use. I think this is appropriate to use. I think for everything, I will use this one. I will use, probably for me is, I just, as a like language, as a language, like instructor or teacher or tutor. Okay, what I would say, I would recommend this one. I think this one is more appropriate in all of these contexts. In all of these contexts, I don't agree with this. I don't agree with this. Okay, I think this is more like appropriate to say when another action started, then I think you don't need to use this. I think this is probably not the best example. Okay, this is probably not the best example. Okay, I would recommend you guys to use this one. Okay, because she had finished her homework before dinner. Okay, now before dinner mean that there is like another action started. Okay, now here we don't need to use because we have started another action. Okay, but because had been finishing her homework or working, that means like she had been working on her homework is like a continuous, because for this this side of this is ongoing, and we discussed so much of this. This is again because this side is ongoing. Okay, this side is ongoing, and this is completed. Okay, this side is completed before we start any other action. Okay, because we have in this side. Okay, in this side, the trouble what happened with us is that in this side we have, in this side, in all these examples that we have here, okay, in front of us, all these examples, we have like another action started as well. Okay, like before dinner, like before moving to London. Okay, like before quitting. Okay, like before the bus arrived. Okay, therefore, instead of using this structure had been here, okay, had been waiting, then she had waited for is the best, instead of saying she had been waiting, because there are two actions here. Okay, there are two actions, had been. Instead of this, we cross out. I would say we will cross out this had been, this been, and then simply instead of having ing form, we use this one is correct. Okay,
So because two action is
there are two
going
action,
on
exactly, there
at
are
the
two
same
action,
time,
because
at the same time, not two action is going on, sir. One action is going on at the one time.
yeah,
So
then it
that
is
is
then it is past perfect continuous. Okay, but
yes,
now it is two action. Therefore, these are not the
yes.
right. I couldn't find the right example. Okay, maybe the next time I can look for the more appropriate examples. But I mean, like, because there are like, here it is two action. Here it is like,
Because not sense is clear in these sentences. So you have say right because two action is going on at in past perfect continuous.
sorry, say it again. I didn't understand.
Sir, you have said right because it's not appropriate because two action is going at the one time.
Yeah, at a time, at a time. No, no, it's not going at a time as well. But I mean, like, still, it's like, it's more appropriate to use past perfect, because before another action started. Okay, if you are saying, if because now you said before dinner. Okay, this action is explained. This action here is explained before, like, this action is explained. She had been finishing her homework before dinner. There is another action started here. This is another action.
Yes,
Okay. Therefore, I mean, like, what we can do here, if this action started, okay, what we can do is, because if she started another action, okay, that means the first action should have been completed. Okay.
Yes.
Therefore, now the thing is, I think the most appropriate is use past perfect when there are two action. Okay, because it is clearly stating that she had finished her homework before dinner. They had lived in Paris before moving to London. Okay, he had worked at the company for 5 years before quitting. Okay, or we had waited for an hour before the bus arrived. You know, the train had left before we reached the
Now,
station.
sir, you have written the uses before the specific time we have used for past perfect. Sir, the example is here.
Yeah, I mean, like before. Sorry, say it again. What do you want to say?
Sir, before specific time we have used past perfect tense. So you have written this uses of past perfect tense in the
Yeah,
argument.
specific time, exactly. Specific time, exactly. But because before dinner is like time, it's a time. Before dinner is like it's a time as well. Dinner time or before dinner is an action as well. Okay, therefore it is like a specific time. You're right, exactly, But obviously it is, before dinner is that we know that there is, it's we can take it as a time as well, or we can take it as like another action before dinner, having dinner. Okay, we can say before having dinner as well. We can same sentence we can say like this before having dinner. Okay, therefore it's like a different way before dinner as well. And the same sentence, if I write the same sentence, I can write it, she she had been she had been finishing her homework before having dinner. Okay. Then we can say as well, she had been finishing her homework before having dinner. Okay. Instead of saying like okay, now we can say that here she had finished her homework. Okay. Sorry. No, we can say that she had finished. Okay, she had have finished her homework before having dinner. Okay, we can say before having dinner as well or before dinner as well. Okay, therefore in a way we know that there is another action ready or another action taken place, that before that she had finished the work. Okay, is that okay or not?
Yes, sir.
But we will discuss when we practice. You will definitely understand. Okay, therefore it's better we will avoid using these sentences because we have another action started here. Okay, there is no point of using this. Okay. Any question? Do you want to ask any other question?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
You are welcome. The most important thing is again practice. Without practice, you will not learn. Okay. Without practice, we can continue talking for hours and hours, and maybe we may not get anything out of that. Okay. If you continue discussing this, you will not get anything out of that. But most important thing is when you practice, when you read extensively, and you underline those sentences. Okay. You underline those like practically. You see how language flows. Okay. Then how language moves. Then you understand that, oh, how language works. Okay, then you understand, oh yes, this is the way we express, this is the way, when you see things in action, when you see things happening. Okay, then you realize, then you understand how to use that the way, the way they are using it. Similarly, you use those things in the same way. Okay, but if I continue writing sentences and then sentences over sentences, then probably you will not understand. Okay, anything else you guys want to ask?